do this long because the lamps are hard.
Oh boy. Wait till warm up though.
Yeah, you get warm up. Please don't.
That is hard. I've lost all my dexterity.
Now sliding will be done.
Yeah.
Push support.
Okay.
I need a rolling brake ball.
Not on purpose.
Yeah, I don't think we do any brake falls tomorrow.
My butt keeps slipping on it. It only does it on the right side. Left side is fine.
It's the right side that does that.
Yeah. See?
Yeah. Big wheel line.
Kicking it that time.
Yeah. It's Rusty's local time.
Yeah, it's so hard to just slide.
See? It's like playing baseball or something. Try to do the right side on this side.
That works. There you go.
Cool.
So it's not being easier.
You're great.
Let's just do it a couple more times. But I'm gonna do this.
Okay.
There you go. And I need to play sliding the wall. It's just like me to the wall. Play sliding the wall.
Oh, our satellite went out today.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, and so our engineer went down there to fix it, and he put it on the test channel instead of the program.
You put on what channel?
The test channel, so it started saying, this is the XCS test channel, this is the program. And it starts playing test tones. Our engineer like, dude, it's doing the tones. You got
You got the test channel.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. That's good. I wanted to go over, some of the moves, because like I said, we need all. And, okay, what I want to do is, you've already introduced some, even that second sheet, so I want to go over that first sheet, just kind of see where you are. I think y'all know that. And it kind of looks good, and so I was going to want to see where you were with that first sheet, and I want to work on the second sheet too, if we can. But I want to add some of the Shinsei soft blocks with this, okay? Because you have blocks on there. We have the down block, we have the inside forearm block, and the outside forearm block on that. And is the automated on that first sheet?
I don't think
I
so.
think it's on the second sheet.
Yeah.
Let me see. I think the automated.
Not till the third time.
Yeah, then you have the rising block. Forearm inside, outside, yeah, it's on, no, the automated is on that. Automated is on that, the rising down block, and the forearms inside and out, and then automated block. That sheet. Okay, so, your stances with this, of course, your informal attention stance is going to be here. Okay, your open leg stance is going to be our relaxed stance. Okay, and so this is our open leg stance, and then your front stance. Show me your front stance. Good, good. Straighten your back foot. There you go. There you go. And bend that right knee. There you go. So that it should go straight from the knee down to the ankle. The knee should be right up the ankle. And if you would widen yours, and does that feel too long to you? Yeah, maybe a little long. Well, I think it needs to be wider, but not as long. There you go. Yeah, that should feel better. Yeah.
Yeah, that hurts me.
Is that right? That hurts me?
Yeah.
You want it out here a little wider, but if you get it too long, you can't get the width on it that you need to really be able to. Okay, good, okay. And with this one, there's really no hand position. We do a down block when we do it. There's really no hand position on this one with that. Okay, our Tetsui Uchi, which is our bottom fist. You remember there's 5 movements in that. Remember what those 5 movements are?
I would remember them if you showed me.
You remember what part of the hand you're striking with?
Starting with.
All right, good. Okay. So how would be ways that you can strike with that? Think of it like this. Downward. Okay. Outside. Right. Uh-huh. Okay. The other one is coming from down here. Right. Then there's in striking. Okay. And then it is, yeah, it's coming from the one hand comes to here, the other one comes down here. And you strike.
Oh, right, there's the grabbing one where you're doing like.
Correct. Yes. And the other one is the roll, where it comes under your chin and strikes it. You roll. Good. Good. Okay. So that's the only strike that you have on this sheet. And once again, we're still doing the Shinsei, but all of these are in the Shinsei. So that's why I'm going ahead and using this sheet because all of these are in there. When you look at the CD, he primarily, he does some of those, he doesn't focus on those much when you look at that CD. But when you go to his class, he'll have you do them. So I know they're in it because he's had us do them in class. And, he'll call them out and he'll do a bottom fist. Or he'll, which he doesn't really stress on that much on the CD that I've seen. But he'll have you do them in class. I know they're in his style. Anyway, okay, so your punches are going to be a straight fist. We primarily do this one from the Kibidachi. We'll just here and we'll just straight out. Okay. The main thing with this is the hand come. This is to teach and help us get this hand motion. A lot of the purpose of this one. Okay? And to keep our shoulders square when we do it. So we're not doing this. Yeah. Keeping our shoulders square. So it helps us. It's to help us get used to this flipping thing and turn our fists so that we're hitting with these two knuckles. We don't want to turn it so far that it's hitting with one knuckle. Actually, we'll straighten it out so this bone should line up with this bone. You do it right. You should do it a little, and they should line up. If you don't turn it enough, you'll hit with the whole thing, but notice how that cocks the wrist and makes it weak. But this locks it in place. Also, you get more penetration. These two knuckles break easier than these two, so you're protecting them too. So that's a lot of purposes for that when you do that. And this comes out and spins just before it connects. So it stays here and then spins just before it connects. Good. Okay? And then your lunge punch. You know how to do the lunge punch.
Okay.
Show me a lunge punch. Okay. Good. Okay, don't lean into it.
Oh, right, yeah, let's get that.
Yeah.
And that's a forward punch.
Forward punch, yes.
Not reverse.
Correct. Yes. 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 Okay. And then a reverse punch. You want a reverse punch? Okay. Give me a reverse punch. Very good. Okay. And make sure you get your hips in that one. Where power comes from with this one. Yeah. And so the easiest way to do that is you can actually do this one backing up if you want to. But the easy way to do that is when you're into it, let this back foot turn a little bit. If you want to ball your foot when you throw the punch, straighten it. Now that throws your hips into it. You'll see a whole lot more power.
You feel it?
Yeah, you can feel it when you do it. That's actually a pretty powerful punch when you throw those hips into it. To me, it's more powerful than a lunge punch. For me. I can get more power of that than a lunge punch. That's putting all your hips. The lunge punch, there's not all your hips into it. It's straight on. There's no hips involved. And so it doesn't have the power to me that one does with that. Okay, and then you have, I'll mix these two sheets up. Okay, we have Tate Zuki, which is our vertical fist. You know what a vertical fist?
Yeah.
It is what it says.
Yeah, I've heard it, so.
Yeah. There you go, yes. And do it like a piston,
Yeah.
so that it comes, there you go, it comes back. Okay? Okay? Yes. Well, this one's primarily going to the ribs. It can go to the jaw. It's primarily going to the ribs. And the reason we do the piston is penetrating and then popping back for those ribs to go in and then pop back out. Yeah. Yeah. So they get a double whammy.
Yeah.
They get pushed in and then pop back out real quick. And so that's why the piston movement. We want to penetrate with it. It's a bam. So we penetrate, but the fist stays this way, vertical. So it is what it says. It's a vertical fist. Yes. Okay. And then Abizuki, which is our rising punch. You know, the rising punch just punches up. Yes. It's just punching up. Maybe the chin or something. This one's good coming around here. Coming up right here. With that. Yeah, it's pretty good one for that. It's a good one for me because of my height. I'm usually down here punching people, so that was actually one I used quite well. That's just the way I punch it. It's a rising punch. Okay, that's all your punches. Okay, and then your blocks. We have the down block, get on the right, and yes, You can do this one, I prefer doing this one going backwards, but you can do it going forward. But I prefer, and once again, as we are going into this, yes, this hand comes down here to protect the arm, and we step back and make sure it sweeps across. And it is easy to get to where you just drop it down instead of this sweep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you see how that goes, just,
Yeah. And that, yeah, this one's doing the cause so much that,
Yeah.
so.
They always want us to do hips.
I think that's good
Yeah.
to do that,
Yeah.
because it gives you more power. Anytime you get your hips in it is good. They didn't really have us doing that, and I think the main reason they didn't is it is, a lot of times for a kick or something, it's a redirective block, and it's so slow anyway,
Yeah.
that putting the hips in it.
Yeah.
But if you get the hips in, that's even better, because it is a hard block, and it's, the purpose of it mainly is blocking the kick. And so, and we're redirecting, is what we're doing. It's a hard block, but it's still a redirecting hard block, with that. But if you get the hips in it, even better. But like I said, it's kind of a slow block. You will find, you come back about it, you'll find when you do this one though, you're going to modify your foot movements when you're doing it. It's going to be more
Yeah.
this type of thing. When you're cutting, it's just going to drop down with it. We'll kind of step back, and it's just a bam with it. A good one, and this is not on any of the sheets or anything. But if you come across somebody that is Taekwondo, okay, they love throwing a lot of kicks. They love throwing a lot of front snap kicks. They love throwing those kicks, okay? A good one for them is simply from here, an elbow coming down on top of that foot.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you do that about 2 or 3 times, they'll stop throwing kicks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if they're crazy enough, and some of them are, to keep their shoes off before they do it, about one of those will stop them.
yeah.
Because they'll probably break the top of their foot. Because what you want to do is hit the point of your elbow right on top of that foot. And so you're protecting your ribs, so it's just a bam! Just drop that down right on top of that foot as it comes in. And to share with you, on our black belt test, we had a guy that was, he had a black belt in Shotokan, also had a black belt in Taekwondo, so threw a lot of kicks. And I hit him about 3 times with that. He stopped throwing kicks. So that's a good one. So it's kind of a modified, when you're doing your down block this way, it's just coming straight down with the elbow. So you're coming down protecting, and it also can be this, so you can throw the leg up, and blocking everything with it. So if you're throwing a lot of those, your hand's still high enough that if they're throwing a high kick, you can still come up with it. You can see that enough that you can come up with it. So just kind of side here. Okay, and then your forearm blocks. Inside forearm, remember the inside forearm block. Right, correct. Okay, and the outside forearm block. Correct. Yes, good. Good, okay, good. Okay, and then your front snap kick. Right here you go. Good, okay. And what part of the foot are you kicking with? 2 inches. Okay, and then the other one going to the groin, what part of the foot you're kicking with? Well, it's also the other ankle. You want to go in where you kick with the ankle. Put everything down, toes and everything. Yes. Put that thing up in there. Yes. That would sting. Yeah. And with this one, as you kind of come up and get used to this one, I'm not going to do it right now, but as you get a little higher rank, because you kind of have to have your balance with it, I want you to start working on putting your hips into this. Okay? Okay, and what I mean is you come up, your hips are going to extend this way. Okay? where your hips extend. Yeah. And you have to really get used to doing that. That one takes some practice. And it takes you really to get your point of balance also, really good to do that. But if you do that, you're going to find you'll get about 6 more inches out of your kick and you get more penetration.
Get your head out of the way.
Get your head out of the way and you kind of lean back, but you also roll the hips forward as you do that. And so when you roll those hips forward, you get a little more extension out of it, kind of pull them up, a little more extension out of it, a little more power on it, and you get a little more penetration with it. So, because of that, because you got more distance and power, so it penetrates more. So that's not something because I want you to really get your balance going. I don't think we did that till we were way over. I went back and said, okay, let's modify this or add to this.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of food for thought about this. Okay. Okay, that is basically that whole sheet. So, yeah, well, it's good. So I want to look at this other, because y'all have been introduced to some of this other stuff also. So I want to look at this next sheet. If all I want to do, since I've waited so long to get the next belt, I want to get you to the next belt quickly. So, because we made that change to Shinsei, so we kind of had to go back and get some basics on that, so it threw y'all behind. So what I want to do is try to get to even the next belt also. But I've introduced some of these to you, and so as we've done things. Okay. Your stances in this is your back stance. Remember your back stance? There you go. There you go. Okay. And make sure that about 70% of your weight's on this back leg, but you're not leaning back and straight in the front. Okay? And lengthen yours a little bit. Yeah, and then squat down into it. There you go. So that you're down here. You get down, squat down into it. For me, it gives a little more, it doesn't seem like it gives me a little more mobility because my legs are cocked and ready to go. And so I can get down and do that. They've got short legs. Okay, back up there. That one kind of starts hurting. Yeah. Okay. A different one that is in Shinsei is a lot like that, so I'm going to put it here. Also, he calls it the L and T stance with that. Okay, and it is you're here where your back stance is here. It's a little shorter with that. The foot is more lined up with this one. Okay, it's still out, but it's more lined up. Okay, this is your L part of it. Okay, and the purpose of this one is I'm here, and then the T part of it, I simply turn to here. Okay, I turn back, and this foot cocks. Yeah, and notice then it makes a T.
Okay. So we do.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and it is to be able to turn here,
Okay.
and then turn back here.
Okay.
So it's just a turn. It's a stance, you just turn.
Okay.
We call it the L and the T.
Interesting.
Yes. And
It's
so
a longer cat stance.
it's a little longer cat stance, and the heel is on the floor instead of up. But it's a little longer cat stance without the heel up. With that. But the purpose of it is so that it's to turn.
Okay.
So if you're here, then you can turn here to do that. And when you're facing one way, your feet make an L, other way they make a T. And you make that turn. This foot ends up being right in the middle of that foot
Yeah.
when you do that.
Okay.
So it's an L and T stance. Is what how he refers to it. Is an L and T. So that is a little different, but I want to do that because it's a lot like the back stance. Just a little shorter, and it is to be able to turn. So if you are having a opponent in front of you, behind you, having to watch both directions, you can make that turn.
Okay.
To do that.
You still keep most of your weight on the back foot?
The weight is more distributed on this one,
Okay.
to more equally distributed, so you can make those turns. And that's why it's a little shorter.
Okay.
It's a little shorter here, and so the weight is more evenly distributed
Okay.
with that because of the turn.
Okay.
But you want to be able to turn with it here.
Okay.
And so there's more of an even distribution of weight on this one. And, so that's your L and your T. And that's one that is in Shinsei, it's not in Shogo. So we'll add that in there. And then we have a cast stance. You know the cast stance? Okay, that is correct. Yes, correct. Okay. Now, both of you show me the other one. Y'all both did the separate one. Yeah, okay. There you go. Good, okay. And the sideways one, that is here.
Oh, what was you doing about the front one for some reason?
You want?
To me, there's only a sideways one for some reason.
Yeah. There's this one, and then we have this one. If this one is like we're doing in kata, if our drain is from the side, the hand position is here.
Right.
If it's straight on, I'm looking in this direction, looking to the side, I'm protecting it this way. If I'm straight on with it, then my hand positions are here.
Yeah, we use it as a transitional.
Yes, yes. And yeah, that's our transition, and we do both of them actually.
Yeah.
When we're transitioning. We do it, so let straight on, we do it. But still, we're doing this, where we're trying to this. But that's our cast stance, okay? Our kibidachi, horse riding stance. You know how to do that one, okay? You know how to get into it.
Step out, right?
Come up with it, cross our arms with the left leg. Yeah, it goes down and then pulls up with a breathing. And this, as you're doing it, you should, the belt should come up and then go up. Okay? It's a breathing, I'm tightening everything up as I'm coming up. And then I'll relax it. With that. Okay? You have to keep it on, which is getting into it. Okay? They used to, as I told you, have us kick the inside of our leg. They changed that because you're kicking nerve centers right there. So, and actually, this to start this, you're doing a block, which is Namiyashi Yuki, and which is this block. Okay, I'm blocking my groin to, and so that's what you're doing is that block, and it's here. It's the one that the kick that I showed you last time. With that, and it's a Namiyashi kick, Namiyashi giri, I guess it would be. They never gave it to the Japanese man when they did it. But it is coming here, but you're kicking instead of blocking. Bam, bam. Okay? And so it is kicking the insides of the nerves. You're kicking their nerve points.
Yeah.
And you want to kick with this right above the knee on that spot right there is what you're aiming for. On both sides. And that second kick is the one that really does the damage.
Yeah.
Because, if they're standing here, you kick this one, it kind of buckles this way, and then you really nail the center. And yeah, you're probably going to buckle a knee when you do that. This one is going to put a strain on the knee. They're probably going to hit the ground. It's probably going to buckle their knee. Especially when you turn those hips into that there and really put that in there. Yeah, it's going to be pretty nasty. If you really put some, you really drive through it so that you extend that out, you're really going to do that. So you're doing the Namiyashi Uki block, set to turn into a kick to the inside of the knee, and then you're turning and doing a side snap kick from that position. So it's just coming here, and going straight into a side snap. With that. Yeah. And you're really throwing some hips into it when you do it. So, pretty nasty video.
We don't do that in Florida.
We don't do that one smart. We don't want to blow somebody's knee out. Yeah. That one is good if somebody comes up and they grab you. Or they're in real close and they grab you. Yeah. 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 They've got a hold of you. You want to get them off. So you're just kind of pushing this leg to throw them off. So it's a and really drive that. And so that hurts thinking about that. Yeah.
Doing the split.
Yes. And they're going to split. Probably that's what they're going to do. They're gonna split, it's probably gonna tear some stuff in here if it don't, you know, and it may tear the knee if that foot don't slide.
Yeah.
You probably gonna tear the knee. The foot don't slide on that second one.
That's something we see all the time.
Yeah, you could mess it up. Yeah, and if you kick that artery right there, it's gonna, yeah. You could do some damage with that one there. And so,
A little better next time.
we'll grab you next time with that. One of those, they wouldn't grab you next time. So that's what you're doing with going into your Kibidachi, your horse riding expenses, that block. So you're covering, notice you're covering chest, solar plexus, blocking, stepping out, coming down to block anything coming in. And because you're exposing yourself so much when you come back here, I'm exposing everything. So I want to really cover what I'm going into this.
Yeah.
And make sure everything, so what I've done is I blocked, I make sure everything's clear, and then I come up into a ready stance. This is a good, strong stance for sideways. Okay? There's an immovable stance in the Shinsei, but it is, we'll kind of turn our feet in just a little bit, kind of a Kibidachi. It's a little more narrow, feet kind of turn in a little bit, and it's to the side. Okay? And this one is really good if you're in close quarters. You need a good, strong stance because it is a strong stance.
Okay.
And it is in here.
Yeah.
Okay? And it's to the side.
Okay.
Where this Kibidachi is more straight ahead. This one's a side stance. Here. And so I'm in it. Feet kind of turn in so I can lock them in good. And then I'm to the side with that. And it's kind of a little wider hourglass stance in a sense. And, so but that's just an immovable stance. That is one that's in. Shinsei does not show the colors. A little modification of Kibidachi. So as we do this, I'm going to introduce you to some of those. We'll get to those more later. But I want to introduce you to some of those different stances that are similar to these. That are kind of additions that we're going to have with them.
They taught you to do a really nice side bus kick on that.
Yes,
stance.
yes, you could, and it is good for your stamping techniques. And when we get to the stamping techniques, to where you're taking out a knee and a foot, the stamping techniques, and that side stamping technique is pretty devastating one. And it is when somebody grabs you from the side. And to do that, when somebody grabs you from the side, you kind of go into this stance and kind of pull them. And then they're going to start pulling away. What they're going to do is they're going to dig in and expose this knee. As they do that, you let them pull you, you come up, start about the knee, and go down. So what you're doing is buckling that knee and it's going down. Yeah. You hit with the blade edge of your foot on their leg, and they're pulling you into it.
Yeah.
Because, you kind of let them pull, and then as they get that up, you just come up and pull you into it.
It's hard for them to catch you after that.
It is. It is. You probably blew that knee out of that. That was a pretty nasty one also. Okay? Those are the three extra stances on this one. And then your T-stance that I had into that. Okay? And there's another stance that is an extra one. I cannot remember what he calls it. Jacob knows what he calls it. But it is, you're kind of in your stance here. It is to turn and here. It is to throw everything into something with that. It is if I'm here and I want to throw everything I've got into it. It is a bam, I'm doing everything I've got into it. I'm putting everything I've got into it. Yes. So you end up here. So your feet end up like that. Yes. It is, that was a hard to keep you balanced, and that's why it's further up. So I'm gonna introduce you to that one. I'm introducing you to stuff that later. But that is in the Shinsei, that's one of the shows also. Okay, so let's get these down here. You've got your first sheet pretty well, okay? And the bottom fist, still a little rusty on it, but you're real close. So you understand it. And taking a minute, you do get it, so that's good. Okay, now our strikes with that, and we've had these strikes. Some of them are in the some of the Shinsei blocks that we've been doing. The first one is your Shudo or your knife hand. Okay, it is the inside and outside with that. You remember what those are? I think Jay showed me those.
I think he showed you that was here. Is it coming up?
Inside, like that.
Yes, that's what.
As long as the back, or
Just like that? Yes. 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 And it is the inside, and the inside is going to come, we turn, so we'll get our hips into it here, and then it comes out here. There you go. Yes. Just like the back fist, just like the knee. And you're striking with this part of your hand when you do that, not this upper part, because you don't hit with that bone. You want to strike this fatty part of your hand, so the hand's got to kind of turn to do a strike. Okay? You also have a block with this. The strike comes out here. Your block comes over in here. The block's one we worked on.
yeah.
We're doing some of those Shinsei things. Okay?
I was happy to get it to the back stance.
Much easier. We learned it in the front stance, but I prefer just letting you do it in the back stance because it is so much harder to do it in the front stance. If you use it, you probably do it in the back stance anyway. So I want to learn it the other way. Because if you use it, you're probably going to do it. With when you're doing some of the Shinsei stuff, you're probably going to do a front stance, especially going forward. Going backwards, you're going to. Going forward, you're probably going to step up into more of a modified front stance to do these.
Yeah.
Okay? And even going backwards, you're probably going to step back because it enables you to, it's going to be a modified stance. It enables you to move, for me, to move quicker. But if the back stance is good for you, when you step back through that, that's cool too.
That's in our car.
Yes, your narcotics back stance. Once again, when you're doing the back stance, the hand comes here.
Yeah.
When you do the front stance, it comes here.
Is that in the Show or here?
It is in Heian Shodan and Nidon. It's in both of them, actually.
So the whole week is here on the show.
We're doing Shodan. Yes, Heian Shodan.
It's at the end of the show.
Yeah, that's the end of it. And in Nidon, it's in the middle of it. It starts when you start back down the middle, it starts that. And so we're in Heian Shodan. It's your ending movement. And so, it's, that one is supposed to be kind of a block strike, so it's kind of in here, not out, and not in. It's kind of a block, where it kind of simulates both, where you're kind of blocking a punch coming in that you're striking to. You want to put some power behind it because you don't lose some damage when you do it. So you're kind of striking with that when you do it. Okay? So there's two of those. Then you have your back of hand. Two of those. The back of hand is you're striking with the back of hand. But you want to hit with these two knuckles. The hand is open with this one. Yeah, the hand is open. You're striking with these two knuckles, so you want to strike where you're turning the hand over a little bit with these. So you can hit with those two knuckles, and you want to kind of extend them so your hand's going to cut just a little as you do that. Hand stays straight with the wrist. Straighten, there you go, with the wrist. Straighten that. You're probably going to strike with this. It is two of those, speed and power. And it's the same thing as your bottom of this. Speed here, from the ear, power here, with that. Okay? So power is coming from the hip because you're pulling all these muscles into it when you do it. But this one's quicker,
Yeah.
so, yeah. This one, the power is probably gonna go to the ribs with that, because you're coming from down here, once again, you're protecting your ear. Come here, this one's probably gonna go to jaw hinge when you do it.
So this the other one comes up here?
It's supposed to come down here, but I got some steel shoe.
I was thinking we should have that.
Yeah, it's supposed to come down here when you do this. But that one is striking with that. You also have back of hand block, but it comes here. And actually, when I looked back at that, it was kind of funny. When I looked back at his CD, when he does this block, sometimes he does a Shido, sometimes he does back of hand when he does that. He did both.
Okay.
So that is, can be something that you can do too. The back of hand to me is a little easier because you don't have to try to turn this hand around. You kind of block and then you can turn the hand. The Shudo tends to be, it's harder to do it soft
Right.
with that. Okay, this one's easier to do soft. One thing I did like, I saw someone else doing, and he was doing that same block, but he was, if you punch here, he was simply coming up here with it, so that, and do it one time, so that you can come here and step around to punch, or you can block it here, block there, and then you can come around and catch this arm, so that you got this arm. Okay, so that you hook this arm.
Okay.
So it's just and one thing he was doing too, if you do that, he added something to it, he was kind of pushing up here.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So you can do right into a punch with that one also. You can add that into that. When you go, this one comes up, you can come up right into a punch with that. Yeah. So it's just kind of redirecting that.
Yeah, they're walking right.
Yes, they're walking right into that. So it's just kind of redirecting that. Instead of this motion, it was this motion with that. So that you're kind of redirecting that. And that's pretty smooth. I really liked it when I saw him doing that. It was a pretty good, so if you do it, going this way, it's just to redirect.
Yeah.
So you're kind of pushing that and redirecting and stepping away from it. You're also taking a lot of their weapons away. I really liked that. That little tweak of that back of hand. It's really a back of hand, but he's pushing it with that. Instead of just a back of hand, he's kind of pushing it. So it's that back of hand. So it's a modification. And he was not calling anything. I saw it on Facebook. He was not calling anything. He was just stepping forward and saying, "What's this?" And then you do like this. And never called anything. So I don't know. He was it looked like a back of hand to me. Okay, and then you have your back fist. Back fist, the hand's going to be closed. You're going to be striking with the front part of your two thumbs with that. And the wrist needs to cock on this one. Yes, so you have an inside for speed here. You have an inside for power here. And it has also a roller.
How far are you talking to this?
You need to cock it enough that you can get around to get the front of these front two knuckles. So it's going to need to cock this way and that way.
So not very.
No, just so you can get with this part of the knuckle. So you don't want to do it too much, which mine, as far as mine goes. Yeah, yours goes a lot further than mine does. Mine goes just enough to do it. So, come underneath. It's just like this one, except you turn the hand this way. And they call it rolling, but you really grab, and here it comes up here, and then you drive it out. Yes. Turn the hand. Yes. Turn your, there you go. And so it's going to come like instead of this motion, it's that motion. There you go. There you go.
I'll work on all this.
almost, but it's coming straight.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, yeah. It can be a pretty devastating thing, you know, if you get a hold of somebody. But this is going to hurt. That's really going to hurt.
It's a lot less movement than doing football.
It is. Yes. It's just bam. Yeah. Actually, you'll probably find you use that in this one.
No, I see it.
That one uses small. Because even when you're here, you know, it's easy to throw that thing out there. You're not doing the grab, but you can do the grab. Grab that hand, when somebody's out here, especially if they get that hand out looking for. Grab that thing. But it's, you know, you do much more damage with that than you do these. So it's a driving. So that is your rolling for the back fist. That is just 3 of those, but you inside for speed, inside for power. You're rolling. You're trying to strike with these 2 knuckles. So the wrist has got to turn, and then it's kind of caught this way. A little, just enough. There you go. Just enough that you feel those 2 knuckles. So that is your back fist. And that one is one that you use, that you will use. Some of these, you don't use quite so much, but that is one that you use. You'll find that vertical fist that we did, you're going to find yourself doing it even in the face. We do it here, but you're going to find one of those. You do it even in the face. You know, especially that left hand, with that, whatever hand you lead with. Because it is quicker to come to here and just throw that thing out. So it's kind of that vertical fist. Because most of the time you're wanting to kind of pop them a few times and really nail them that. Or that. So that one is to kind of get their attention. So you go next. And this one is probably the one that's going to come and turn. Because you want the power. So it's probably that's where you turn is one of them. You're going to find that vertical fist doing that. Okay, there's your 3 with that. And they also have, oh yeah, I forgot they had that, a down one. They did that because Sensei Terry put in a cot. Changed the movement of the kata. So they added this one. It is a down one. Okay? The kata was supposed to be a rolling. He changed it to this down one. It comes up here, and coming down. Yes. Where it comes up, and just comes down. Yes. When you're striking, once again, you want to strike with this part of your hand because this part breaks easy. So I want to give it this part of your knuckles. So when you're coming down, that knuckle needs to turn, hand needs to turn, which you can strike. Yes. And that one can be a great thing. This one will be more powerful than that.
It seems like there's a lot more muscle going into it.
Yeah, you're getting all these muscles involved in it, and you're really driving everything out there.
Especially with the hips.
Yes, you put those hips into it. That's pretty nasty.
Yeah.
When you really drive it. But I forgot that I added that. Much later. Okay. Then you have Hiraken Zuki. These are punches. Okay? The Hiraken is a 4-knuckle, and it is, the knuckles are like so. This kind of goes in here to kind of lock it in place. That's when we go to the throat. And it turns before you get there. You don't want it twisting when it connects. You want it to connect here. It is to go to the throat. Can go to the fulcrum.
Really accurate for that.
You've got to be really accurate for that. It can go there, primarily throat. And once again, we do this so that if we miss, get down here, it'll bounce up into it. With that hand. Yeah, it's very pinpoint. This, very easily, can be killing technique.
That's what I was thinking.
Yes, this one is, so you need to know that. If you throw that one, especially if you penetrate it, you know, if you just do one of those, it's going to kind of take the breath. You're going to have to get the breath for a few minutes. But if you really drive that thing in there, you really penetrate, it's probably going to be a killing technique.
You can crush that without pretty easily that way.
Yes, going to crush it, begin to bleed pretty profusely in there, and cause some serious damage. This is your 4 knuckles, because you're putting your knuckles out. So it's a 4 knuckle. You're putting the knuckles 4 F-O-R-E, not F-O-U-R.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, F-O-R-E, 4 knuckles. Front knuckles. So you're putting these front knuckles out and driving that in there. So this is your 4 knuckle punch. And if you do that, for some, they like to put that knuckle way on out there. For me, it collapses my fingers too much.
Yeah.
So I have to do it where my fingers won't be here on the end. So just according to how long your thumb is,
Yeah.
you force it to your fingers.
That feels better to do that.
It feels better to me to do that. I can extend it out. It's still a strong thing. But the main thing you want to try to do is keep this as flat as you can. That's the main thing. When you do this, it kind of buckles that, and to me loses some strength.
Yeah.
But when you're here and your nose are straight, it's much more because you're driving straight back into those knuckles. So whichever you can do it to keep that flat is because I've had some that can get on out there where that one of my thumb is too short. I got short fingers and my thumb's too short. Some people's thumb's long enough to do that, mine's not. So I do it with this finger.
I've got to be careful too, because if I do too much on double joints, they just go the wrong way.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, so you gotta be careful with that, which is gonna make it bend back.
Yeah, so it's straight off my fingers.
Yes, yes. So you want to keep that flat.
Yeah.
You don't want it down too much or up too much. So that one is going to be a flat it's flat as much as you can get it flat. Okay? So there's your 4 knuckle here. And then you have the upper, the Uri Zuki with this one, and this is your uppercut. You come in and it's simply coming up here. Cover the chin, you're inside, and it's coming up.
Seems like there's not really as much power as you'd expect in that one.
Yeah, but if you kind of throw those hips in, when you do it, that's where the power's going to come in. Is when you throw those hips into it.
You can feel it.
Coming up with it is where your power comes off. So if you extend it out, it takes it. Yeah, where it's coming up. You come right up under the chin, that thing.
Yeah.
You know, if you're inside, you want to come right up under that chin and drive that thing up, pushing that head back with that. Yeah. Pretty good. If you're inside, you get that, it's pretty nasty. Okay, and then your blocks, we've kind of gone over 2 of these already. Your Shido, your knife hand block, and it is blocked in here. It can be a hard block or a soft block. I don't know, according to what you want to do. In the Shinsei, it's going to tend to be more soft blocks. But you can do a hard block where you really strike that thing in there. Okay? Or block here where you really strike that thing in. Can be a soft block. With a soft block, you kind of want to keep the hand turning when you do a soft. Yeah. Yes. Because you're doing it because you're going to grab it. So you want to kind of keep the hand turning so it's kind of a redirection. With a hard block, it's going to come down and really strike. Yes. The soft block is going to kind of keep turning and sliding down the hand and grab at the same time. Okay? So it's going to be a hard or a soft block, depending on what you're wanting to do with that. If you just want to pop somebody, you know, it can be a pretty good block because it can, if you get on these nerves right here, it stings quite a bit to do that. Anywhere from here to about here, especially right in here to about here, it stings quite a bit.
I noticed too, people in street fights tend to be really bad about punching. They punch really hard like that.
Yes.
So if you do that, that would be
Yes.
nerves.
Yeah, if you step in and get those nerves, come in here, you get those nerves, or you hit these nerves that are coming like that. Either one of those. In here, on these, in here, on these, either one of those. You're going to be pain with that, especially if you really pop that thing.
Yeah.
So, And actually, if you're inside and they're giving you one of these, probably a hard block's what you want.
Yeah.
You probably want to step in and really do a hard block either this way or this way.
They pretty much deserve it that way.
They deserve it that way. Yes. And, you know, if you step in, if you're stepping in, you really probably, because you want to cause some pain.
Yeah.
Because if they're planning to do something next, like punch or something, that pain's going to make them think about it. And what I want to do is take their mind off what they're about to do next. That's what you want to do with that. So, but that is your block. You've also got your back of hand block, which is, once again, power and speed. But it's going to kind of turn up. We're here. The stripe is here. The block is going to come more here. Okay? And that's the thing that I was saying with this, if you punch with this block here, he kind of did that back of hand block there and then turned his hand and came down. So, which is a little easier, the block's a little easier than it is. We were doing a shudo,
Yeah.
and as I watched him, he did that several times, and one time he would do the shudo, one time he would do a back of hand. And the good thing about back of hand, you're aiming from here, but you've got this whole area that you can block.
Yeah. Okay.
It can be much easier a soft block with that.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of here. Hand turns and grabs. So that is that back of hand that you're using the whole lot to go do. You're just kind of redirecting with that, pushing it away. You can grab with that point. So that was kind of what he did. I noticed, I watched that again. But I seen him do the shudo, and I noticed he's doing the back of hand sometimes too. I think a lot of it had to do how far he stepped up.
Okay.
If you step up too far, it's hard to get the hand turned for him to do that shoot turn.
Okay.
You can flip on around because you kind of move back to do the grab. But if you get too close, this is much easier.
Okay. Yeah.
And when you step back and do it, the shudo's easier.
Yeah.
Hard to do this one then because you're out here.
Yeah.
So the shudo's easier. And you step back in it. So, it's according to kind of how you're doing that. That block that we did where we come block and grab here can be a shudo or can be a back of hand. Both of those to start going to it. What I'm trying to do with that. So that's that. The next one is your bent wrist block. This bent wrist block steps back. It comes kind of like looking like an inside forearm block here. You come here, it comes up and blocks, but the wrist turns toward the corner. You don't here, you don't here. It turns toward the corner. Okay? The purpose of this one is I'm just trying to block a kick here. So I'm blocking this one with this part of the arm instead of this inside arm. I'm trying to stop a kick. You step back and stop a kick. You bend this wrist so that the foot doesn't come up and slide off and get you in the head. So you bend that to catch the foot that comes up. So you're trying to stop that foot. You've taken the power of it, so it's not going to really hurt your hand. They sting. But it's not going to do damage to your hand because you take the power out of it with this part of your arm. The wrist bends to keep it from sliding up off of it. So it kind of leans out and it bends. Yeah, and do it from underneath here. Here. So it comes, bam. It's kind of like your inside forearm,
Okay.
but it comes more out that way.
Okay.
Yeah, and don't extend it quite that far. You want it out here. Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. And if somebody's going a front snap kick up, it's to block it there and keep it from sliding on up and coming over.
Okay.
You know, you may, with somebody with a taekwondo, where they come up with that stop balance way up. Okay? Because they come up by you, come right on up with it. So if you kind of step back and do that one, stop balance way up. That's what you're doing. You're going to lean that out, not way up here. You're going to kind of lean it out and catch it. It's a bent wrist. It's kind of like the scooping. The difference in the scooping is the scooping steps back with the other leg, and you're trying to catch the thing in here.
Okay.
You're trying to catch the kick in here. And so it's where the bent wrist is going to come here. Your scooping is going to come here. where somebody's kicking, I'm hooking under it, and then coming around. The hand position ends up the same.
Okay.
The wrist is bent here, but it's there. You're scooping down to kind of catch that in there. So you end up with their leg, you've scooped it here,
Yeah.
you end up with their leg coming right through here under your arm.
Okay.
Okay? And then, knee on, that's what you're doing. Somebody's kicking, and you are catching that, and then, bam, kicking.
Okay.
Really hard.
Yeah.
When you do that.
Probably changed the mind.
They probably changed their mind. You probably have to do that second. If you did that, if you grab that thing, and then you come and kick right under there, and back of that leg. What time is it? I've been going quite a while since I'm trying to get through this. Yeah. Back to 7:35. All right, so now, I want you to know this sheet. Okay, these kicks you've had, side snap kick, you worked on. Remember the side snap kick? There you go. And turn the foot down more so that it's, there you go.
Try to keep it.
Yeah, keep it straight
Yeah.
and turn it down. There you go. Yeah, now you need to straighten it. That's, you have to work on this one.
Yeah.
It's hard to do with shoes too.
Hard to do with shoes. Yes. There you go. And so that you're hitting this blade edge of your foot. This one can be done from the side here.
You have to practice all the,
Yes, on that back, doing that. It can be done turning here. Doing it. And you can do it as a hopper, as we did. We did all of those on the back of it. So that's your side snap. Then your roundhouse. Technically, to learn the roundhouse, you're supposed to come from here, load it right straight up here, and then turn. There you go. Yeah. And if you don't kick something, you're easy to lose your balance. But it comes up here, bam, and back. I lose my balance, I don't kick something with that. Okay? And you want to, with this one, primarily go to the ribs. You don't want to go up with it. You want to go straight in with it. Where your power's going to come from. Yes. And if you are kicking to the ribs here, you're aiming here.
Okay.
Okay? So you want penetration.
Point your knee where you're.
Yes. You point your knee where you want to penetrate to. You extend that thing all the way out.
Okay.
And throw the hips into it. That's the purpose of this turn, is to throw the hips. You get more power too with this one if you roll those hips over. There you go. Where you're in that position that you kick. Now I think you need to roll your hips a little bit more. There you go. Better. Lose balance more.
Yeah.
Kicking something,
Yeah.
this one's much easier.
I practice this a lot. So it's-
Yeah. Yeah. And you actually, technically, this kicks with the ball of the foot. But when we do the top of the foot because it's, you kick in the bag or something. If you got hard-toed shoes on though, you want to kick that thing with the ball of the foot. With the toe of the foot, actually. To really kick that thing in there.
I still do those, still those boots on.
Yes, yes. But you want to make sure when you do this, you end up in this position when you do it. The hips are all lined up here. And then that's where your penetration. Your knee actually is probably end up past where you want to kick. Because you want to drive that thing through. And it is as you do this straight motion, you can do it up, but you get a little more penetration if you do it this way. And we will tend to kind of come up with it more when we're sparring. We'll kind of come up with it. But we need to get really used to doing that kind of here and having penetration with it. Easier also if you do this one, use your hand as a counterbalance.
Oh, I didn't do that.
Yeah, use your hand as a counterbalance as you do that. In the sense that you come turn, you come here and the hand comes out. But then as you turn back, it comes back up. Because you're leaning back to where they can't get to you anyway.
Yeah.
So you really kind of protect your hips and all here anyway with this hand out.
Yeah.
So you got the hand out, but then it comes back as you come down. Yeah. There you go.
That was a lot easier.
Yeah. That hand really helps counterbalance when you kind of extend it out a little bit. Because if you lean back, so you use some penetration with that thing, then, yeah, there you go. Yeah, that'll help you balance.
Yeah.
That'll help you balance with it. Okay. That is good on that. Okay. One thing that you notice is that first sheet is so important. We'll spend much more time on that first sheet because a lot of the other ones are the same thing, different hand position. Yeah, so if you can get that first sheet down, it makes all the other ones easier. You're going to have some that are going to be different. Your spear hand kind of gives you a little different
Yeah.
thing with that. So there's going to be some that will be a little different. But a lot of it is going to build on that first sheet. That's why it's so important. Usually it takes longer to get that first belt because that first sheet is so important.
Yeah.
And y'all got through behind you more because we made that switch all the way through. Had to do some groundwork for that. So that's why I'm hoping to get you the next belt and the next one. Get those together back to back. That's why I'm going to go over this sheet to get you going to that next one. Now I'm adding in, like I said, some of the things that are in Shinsei with that. We've already done those 5 blocks, soft blocks that he does with that. And we've worked on those 5 different soft blocks that he does, which are a lot of these little modifications, doing soft.
Yeah.
Where you're kind of doing either the back hand, shoe-toe, you're turning to a shoe-toe with it. Because when you come to turn to do that one, when you turn to do it, you do have to do a shoe-toe. You can't really do the back hand. That was hard to do that. So, but when you stay this way, you can do the back. Okay. So, that gives you the different things on. Okay? Just line up. I'm over a few minutes, probably about 22 now. So we'll get through all those. Maybe you caught up to that next caught up last time. And we'll look at that again. There's also another copy of that 4-point shoot up. And it is, looks real simple, but for some reason it's hard to get. I don't know why. But it's just hard to it is. For some people, for me it was. Maybe because they kept changing it on me. Yeah. They'll teach me one way and come back and say, no, that's not the way you end it. I said, okay, shouldn't be ended. They'll show me. I learned that. They come back and say, no, you end the way we first showed you. And then come back and say, no, that's not the way you end it. You end it this way. Ooh. So sometimes I wonder, how do we end this thing? Because they probably showed it to me, changed it 8 or 10 times back to back.
So I think it's walked.
I hope they have to. Because they kept changing it. Ski. Open the credit class you thought of. Got to get 1 year more about it done.
Yeah, that's pretty good then.
Yeah. All right, let's pray. Father, we lift our praise to you. Thank you for your love and grace. We thank you for this time that we've had together, for the learning. Pray you would bless it and watch over us. And God, you watch over us, protect us, bring us back safely next time. Pray your blessing on Steve as he was not able to be here this evening. That you just bless and protect us through this week. We lift our praise to you. We love you. Thank you for your love to us. In Jesus' precious name. Amen. Ski. Thank you for coming this evening. Welcome. Ski. What did you do? Class dismissed. Very good. Very good.